Welcome back, everybody. This is Glockman4519, and I am back with another ROM review. This one here is the latest release from Resurrection Remix, and this is for the Nexus 6. I was debating on whether or not I wanted to do this review on the Nexus 6 or my OnePlus One. And as much as I love my OnePlus One, it just the colors just are so vibrant on the Nexus 6 with the AMOLED screen, and the whole nine yards. I wanted to do it on here. I had both builds, both phones side by side, looking through them. Um, and to be honest with you, there's a couple changes, between the two gestures, things like that. But it's pretty much the same ROM. So for those of you that have the OnePlus One, this ROM is going to be about 95 to 98% the same ROM as what you're going to find on the OnePlus One. We are going to go ahead and get into this. We're going to go to About Phone. You can see this is Resurrection Remix. This is the version 5.6.9. This is the latest release, which would have been May 20th. Device again is Nexus 6, Android version 6.0.1. Latest security patches for May. I am running HellsCore kernel. Again, guys, if if you can, just run the stock kernel. The stock kernel is an outstanding kernel. I do a lot of kernel testings. The same way I do ROM testing. So I'm not going to get into that again. But just remember, don't post any bugs unless you flash this with the supplied kernel. And I will just say this, that the latest HellsCore is just running so smoothly with this ROM. It's just phenomenal. Um, but again, the supplied kernel ran pretty damn good too. But I had to get that out there. I am going to do things a little differently than I normally do. I'm going to go ahead and go all the way up to the custom settings. We are going to go from there. We are in the configurations for Resurrection Remix. First up is going to be status bar. Guys, bear with me. Resurrection Remix is one of the, if not the most customizable ROM that I know of. And believe me, I've flashed them all. VR Toxin was really close. Cyanide is another one that's really right up there with it. But I mean, there's just so many custom features on this ROM. You can lose yourself in it. You really don't even need to theme it. It's got enough settings in it. You can make your own custom theme. If you flash the TVO clear or dark G apps, which will take care of basically all of your Google apps, then your apps are already themed. You just use the custom settings here to theme your UI and your phone. All right, clock. These are your settings for clock customizations. Of course, you have right, left, center, or hidden. AM, PM style, date style. You have your date, position, format. You can color it. I am running a theme, so normally I like to color everything as much as I can, but right now I'm not because I am running a theme. Actually, I am going to color my clock. Let's go with a purple because the theme doesn't color that. The theme I was running, which was neon colors, actually colored the clock. So you wouldn't want to set a color in the custom settings or it would conflict with the theme that you were running. Now I can see why some of the ROM makers out there or developers do not, allow for custom colorizing. Colorizing your status bar, nav bars, just because of conflicts with themes. Anyways, moving on. You do have your font style. You could pick whatever you want out of the just a big list of choices. Um, and what I really like about it, again, you guys can pick your size. I do like to go with 18. That's about perfect for me. That way I can see my clock, you know, at a quick glance. Next up is going to be battery status. These are your settings for that. I have it off uh, just for the video. Again, you have your percentage. You can have it show or not show next to the icon, in the icon, depending on which icon you're using. You have battery bar settings. And the battery bars, I like the newer style battery bar because it's reminiscent of the late Lollipop battery bar that Pac-Man came out with. Kind of like it, not exactly like it, but it kind of follows that suit where when your battery reaches a certain percentage, it changes color depending on how you set it up. And I do like that feature. Next up would be your status bar icons. You can pick and choose what you want to actually show on your status bar. And then status bar icon colors. Guys, you can just go crazy with this. Right now, again, since I'm running a theme, a lot of my status bar icons are colored or have their own icons right from the theme. I'm tending not to color a lot of it. But before I put a theme on, I had a wild ass theme that I made all by myself with just the custom settings. I mean, this ROM kicks ass. Um, Carrier label, you guys can run with a carrier label if you like. Um, you can run it on your lock screen. You can run it on your lock screen and status bar if you like, or not at all. And right now I'm running none. I don't really have a lot of room on my status bar. I want that temperature to work. And by the way, guys, temperature is working perfectly this time. I had no problems at all once I set custom location in my weather widget. The or temperature come right up. It's been sticking. I haven't lost it at all. So kudos to the developer for that. Let's see, network traffic. If you guys want to run that, that's where you set that up at. Again, you can color that as well. Resurrection logo. This is awesome. Of course, I'm going to run the logo. You guys know that. But what's really cool is not only do they give you the Resurrection Remix logo, but you can throw a custom logo up, which I am running a custom logo. But what's really cool is the list of different custom logos you can throw in there. This is the kind of ROM I like, guys. I can't stress enough about options with this ROM. It's amazing, and it is running so smoothly on my device. It's unbelievable. Um, Anyways, you guys can pick it and choose whatever you want. As you can see, what I have both. I have two different styles. Resurrection Remix logos up there. I have the new style, and then I have the old style next to it, with my temperature right next to that. Next up, you have your headset icon if you want that. Weather settings. You go in here. You can set up your thermometer or your temperature, which that's how what I have that set up at. Now remember, when you set this up to begin with, unless you have your weather widget all set up and allow permissions for your weather, um, you're not going to get that in your status bar. But once you set permissions and you, in my case, set a custom location, it pops right up. So it is working great. You can set the size on that if you want. Again, I'm running at 18 DPI. You guys can set it to whatever you want, or you can go without running it at all. Then you have miscellaneous status bar settings, your brightness control, show notification count, double tap sleep, super suit indicator, and then just on and on and on and on. Last but not least are your breathing notifications. Next up would be the notification drawer. You do have notification header. Um, Custom headers, you guys can throw in. They do have a, a long list of different header styles that you can run with. Right now, I have the splash header showing. That's that. Um, if I just sit here and showed you what each one of these look like, man, this ROM or this ROM review would just go for hours. I mean, just at so many different settings. All I can tell you guys is when you flash this, give yourself some time when you go to set it up. Take your time, go through it slowly, and pick what you like. Go through each one of them. Then, of course, you have your shadow header image. You can darken it or lighten it however you want. I leave it the way it is, stock. I like that. I like it as bright as I can get it. So that's how I have mine set. Let's see. Header items. You can pick and choose what you want in your header to show. Quite a few options there. I have pretty much every one of them ticked on. Of course, you have your task manager. If you guys like to run with the task manager, that is one thing I don't like. I used to actually use it quite a bit, not so much anymore. But again, everybody to each his own. That's what I love about Android. That's what I love about custom ROMs. Let's see. You can change your fonts. And when I say you can change your fonts, you can change different fonts for each specific item in the header. It's just so cool. Then, of course, you have your notification header colors. You can go in through here and pick any colors you want. As you can see, I went kind of wild with this, kind of to match the theme. I think I should have stayed with a solid color because of the header pack that I picked. It's got some wild colors, so things are kind of conflicting here and there. But, it is what it is. I'll play with it some more later on. Let's see. Next up would be your notifications. You have your force expanded. Then, of course, you can disable your immersive mode message. Then underneath that's going to be your notification colors. And again, it just there's so many different settings you can do for this. Now I have mine off. When I turn it on, I had a lot of these colors picked. But again, I'm running a theme, so I don't want to screw with the notifications. The theme comes with the notifications already themed. But I mean, you guys can go crazy with this. I'll give you a second to look. That's it for notification headers. Next up, be your quick setting panel. This is going to be, of course, your drop down. Let's see. You have your quick pull down. Right, left, off, or always. Your smart pull down if you guys want to use that. You can pick and choose number of tiles per row. Enable to 3 location states. If you want to try state settings. Just it goes on and on. Quick setting tiles. This is going to be where you can add or remove tiles. Um, Guys, I have a pile put on here already, and I will show you what I don't have on. It's just crazy the amount of customization this ROM has and the features, and it's just unbelievable. That's going to be a recurring theme that you're going to hear from me all throughout this whole review. It's just incredible. This ROM just goes, it's over the top. But in a good way, I'm telling you. I haven't had any force closes. I haven't had any lag or sluggishness from it. It's running really smooth. He really hit a winner on this latest update. Let's see. Then you have your QS vibrations. You can set up your vibrations for that. Quick setting colors. Again, I'm running a theme, so you guys saw that I have icons showing. I don't want any colors, or that's just going to end up being these big colored circles. I want to run with the icons showing. Then you have your quick setting detail text, color, all that stuff. You guys can just do whatever you want with that. Let's see. Disable quick settings and lock screen. You have your brightness slider. Of course, your brightness icon. I do have that. I don't use this. Oh, yes, I do use the slider. What am I talking about? I don't use the touch thing where you touch the status bar and slide. I don't do that. Let's see. Next up is going to be our Nav Bar Settings. You can enable it or disable it if you want. You do have the Nav Bar modes. You have fling gesture settings, just like and I'm pretty sure DU was the one that developed that, Dirty Unicorns. Don't quote me on that, but it's just from what I can remember reading. I'm pretty sure they're the ones that come out with that. Pretty much most ROMs now are carrying it. It's pretty cool. It's not my kind, my cup of tea, but it is really cool. Then of course they have the Pulse, which I do use. I like it. When I do listen to music, which is not very often, um, it's nice and it does work. It works very well. Then of course you have your bar size. Right now I have everything at max. This is pretty much how it comes flashed. Next up is going to be the button controller. That's going to be your power, volume key, stuff like that. Here is your power menu. Plenty of choices to choose from here. I like the fact that the screen record is in my power menu. Of course, you can end call with the power with the power key. Press power for twice for the camera. You have your advanced reboot. Make sure that that's on. If you do not have that turned on, you are not going to get your advanced reboot functions. Then here are your volume key settings. They do have the screenshot settings here. The screenshot, your screenshot shortcut, where if you hold down on the volume and hit the power at the same time, you get a screenshot. And also with the screen record, you hold up volume up in power, and it automatically comes up with screen record. And then you have your volume steps, and that you can customize that as well. Next up would be recents. Show recents in or show search bar if you want the search bar. I don't use that. I do like the memory bar. Thank you guys for throwing that in there. I use that a lot. Clear all tweaks, clear all button, clear all tasks, location. They give you the 6 different locations for that. The hidden apps, recent style. Right now, um, it's crazy. Look at the customizations that you can do with this. And again, I'm just going to shut my mouth and scroll. This is cool. You can pick whatever kind of style button you want for your recents button. Man, I'm all stuffed up. Spring just kills me. I'm running with the graph. And of course, you can animate the button. So when you hit it, I have it right now. So when I hit my recents button, it spins. Immersive recents, I'm running full screen, but they have the status bar only, nav bar only, and default. Show clock in recents, show date in recents. Then, of course, down the bottom, you have your slim recents, and you have Omni after that. These are your settings for slim recents for those of you that run slim. And Omni switch. Next up would be lock screen settings. First up is going to be security. This is going to be where you can set up your screen pin, password, stuff like that. I did hear some of the ROMs that have been coming out lately, for some reason, have been they've been having issues with lock screen. If you set up a lock screen, a lot of people have been having issues after flashing the ROM. If they do a reboot and come back, they get stuck. They can't get into their ROM. They end up having to reboot it, reflash it. I don't know if that's been fixed or not. I don't run a lock screen, um, and a couple people that I know that flash, uh, like I do, and go crazy with it. They haven't had this problem, but I have seen it, and not just on Resurrection Remix, but on quite a few other ROMs. It seems like it's more of a CM thing, where it's more prevalent in CM based ROMs. But I'm just letting you guys know. You just remember, before you flash any ROM, you want to read at least the first two pages of the thread and at least the last two pages of the thread. And I would read even more than that, because then you get an idea if there are any bugs or anything that you should be aware of. All right, moving on. Lock screen media, lock screen UI. Under media, this is what you're going to get. Under the UI, this is going to be a lot of settings for your blur intensity, lock screen colors. Again, guys, oh man, I just love this ROM, man. I'll show you what the lock screen looks like. This is how I have it set up. So I have all kinds of colors. If you notice my two shortcuts at the bottom, I set that up that way: purple, green, and purple, and then I just went crazy with the colors. So that's how I have it set up. You guys can do whatever you want with it. Um, I just love the colors. Lock screen date and font. Uh, you guys can set up your font style for your lock screen date. Um, just all kinds to choose from. Then, of course, we are at date and time. You can pick and choose what you actually want to show on your lock screen. Then, of course, you have shortcuts. And you're going to get your bottom shortcuts, and you are also going to get your quick shortcuts, which are going to be basically your center shortcuts. They're going to show up right in about the center of your lock screen, and it's nice that they have it. I think if a ROM is going to have shortcuts, um, that the center shortcuts are the ones that are going to be used most often. Just in my opinion, and again, it's just an opinion. Let me see, where were we at? That was lock screen UI. Then, of course, we have lock screen gestures. These are the gestures you can have: double tap to sleep, and the lock screen torch. Then, of course, you can have your wallpaper settings, and after that, it's going to be your weather settings. This is how I have it set up. You guys can set it up however you want. We are now up to animations. These are the animations included with this ROM. Again, I don't use any of these animations, um, or I just leave them default. I've said it in the past. The only one I use is scrolling modifier, and Cyanide is the only ROM that I am aware of that actually incorporates it in their ROM. Uh, so uh, next up is going to be gestures. Your gestures is going to be your gesture anywhere and your app circle bar. I'm not going to get into how to set it up. It just takes so long to do it. This is going to be a long video to begin with, but these are your settings, and this here is your app bar settings. Let's see, multitasking. It's going to be your multi-window mode, floating windows, and of course your pie control. And under pie control, I think it's just standard. They might have slim under here. No, it's just standard pie control. You can enable it. If you enable it, let me check for gravity. I want it on the left. Yep. So that would be your pie. So you guys can see it. You can set it up however you want. I don't run with pie, but you guys can do whatever you want. Floating window mode. These are your settings for floating windows. Next up is going to be miscellaneous. You have your SE Linux switch options. I am running permissive, although I didn't have to switch it to permissive because HellsCore, the kernel that I flashed, is HellsCore permissive. By default, it just flashes permissive. That is another reason why I like to use those particular kernels. HellsCore, Blackbird. When you flash them, they flash permissive. And I've told you in the past, there are a couple apps I use. I need that permissive mode. Moving on. Dashboard styles. These are your dashboard styles. You guys can pick and choose however you want to set up your dashboard. And of course, you can color it all. And believe me, I haven't even gotten through all the settings to set up the colors for that yet. And I've been running with this since, I don't know, I think a day and a half now, and I'm still not done with my settings. Then, of course, you have your DOS power save, launch music app, um, restart system UI. I'm not going to do that because I don't want it to screw with the video. But like, say you set up a lot of colors, and say some of your colors just don't seem to be taking, just hit that. It will restart your system UI, and it will take effect. Then, of course, we have the weather settings. These are the ones I told you that you want to set. Um, if you want your temperature to show in your status bar, you definitely want to get in here and get this set up. You want to put a custom location in at least, or at least set up a some kind of location. Let's see. Then you have your ad blocker, and of course, ad blocker is Adaway. A very good app. I like it. It works very well. For the few apps that I run that I like the ad blocking to take effect, it works great. Then, of course, you have your disable force close notifications, wake lock blocker, where you can block wake locks. If you guys know what you're doing with that, just be very, very careful. You can get to the point where you won't receive phone calls or texts or emails. You got to be careful what you're doing with that. System app remover. Again, if you're going to take out any system apps, I highly recommend you back your phone up first. Back up the ROM. Remember, system apps are tied in with each other. At least some are. You pull one out, you screw up something else. So just be careful with that. Then, of course, you have your advanced options. Under that is going to be your screen shutter sound, screen shot sound, your safe headset volume, and of course your less frequent notification sounds. And I think that is it, if I'm not mistaken. No, last but not least is going to be your updates. This is where you're going to go to check for updates. All that link to the ROM, changelog, gaps. It's all there. It's nice that they put that there. And that is it. Quickly I'll run down through here. I'm not going to go as in depth as I normally do, but I will show it to you. This is sounds, of course. These are your other sounds. Your vibrates all the way at the bottom. Next up would be display and lights, adaptive brightness, all that is there. Have your cast, ambient display, wallpaper interface, your advanced DOS options, LCD density, it's all there, guys. Of course, you have your battery light settings, your notification light settings, notifications. It's going to be heads up, do not disturb, all that. I want to run with no heads up. Actually, I will show you guys all the settings. There you go. Let's see here. Security. Pretty basic under security. I don't see anything different. Make sure you get that unknown sources turned on, guys, especially if you're going to sideload any apps or install from internet or from your internal storage. Uh, Scroll down, we're going to get our privacy settings. You got privacy guard, block caller list, and protected apps. Again, Resurrection Remix has it all. I mean, it's got all of the good CM settings, plus it has that AOSP, quick tiles. I like this set of quick tiles. I hate the CM quick tiles. I mean, I'm sorry, but they suck. Let's see. But then that's just my opinion. I know a lot of people that actually like them. Weather settings, I'm not sure what that's for. I've never been able to use it. I guess if you have certain apps, you can use that for that. Language and input, printing, developer options. I'll hit that real quick. Um, you have your OEM unlock. Root access is in there. Make sure you have Android debugging on. That's the most important switch in here uh, because pretty much everything else is in the custom settings. Even in your drawings, where your multi-window app normally would be at, your multi-window mode, that's in custom settings as well. And then all the way at the bottom, you do have the kill app back button. Guys, that is it. Resurrection Remix. Again, this is, I think, version 5.6.9. Let me double check. I don't want to sound like an idiot. Yeah, this is version 5.6.9. This is the latest 520 build. The theme I'm running, for those of you that are interested, if you like this theme, I am running the complete theme except for fonts. The theme is called Shadows. It's actually a pretty cool theme. Um, the icons are pretty cool themselves. Although I have a set of icons, I have a set of icons that I download from the Play Store that actually mimic them right down to the T. The icons are actually called shadows, but it has a pretty cool boot animation, the whole 9 yards. I kind of like the boot animation on it, although I think the Resurrection Remix animation is awesome. I wouldn't cover that up. I'm going to leave that right where it's at. Again, guys, the theme is shadows, just so you guys know. And that's it. I'm going to let you guys go. I know this has been a long, long video. That's because Resurrection Remix, again, is probably the most customizable ROM that I've ever flashed. And I know there are a lot of good ROMs out there. Broken, Cyanide, AOSIP, and they've got tons and tons of customizations, but nothing comes close to this. I still think Resurrection Remix is the king when it comes to custom colors and stuff like that. I just do. Um, Guys, again, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Sorry about it being so long. I want to thank all of my subscribers, and I will see you on the next one.